Welcome to a very disappointing CK podcast here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. I'm your host, Leo Biaz, along with my co-host, Javi Zaragoza. He's not smiling as he typically does when the Kings win, obviously. The Kings lose 113 to 104. They are now 29 and 38, and the Spurs are 32 and 34. The play-in tournament is less likely than ever. They needed this W, Javi. They did not execute down the stretch when they really, truly needed to. And that's where they needed a guy like De'Aaron Fox, where you give him the ball, you get out the way, and he gets you a bucket. But he healed. He did his job leading towards the fourth quarter, giving them a chance. But he's not that guy. He's not De'Aaron Fox. The Spurs had two of those guys. They had DeMar DeRozan and Murray. What's that noise? Both throwing me off.
Sorry about that. Charger cord, my bad.
So it's disappointing because they did all this work, won 4 in a row, 7-10, kept their opponents under 100 points for the first time in a long time. They were playing really well, and they couldn't get the job done. I posted earlier on CK on Instagram saying, are you guys nervous? Because this is the biggest game of the season. The game that they truly need. They couldn't get it done, man. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I just have learned to have no expectations with this team. I text you in the game. I said, I don't think they're going to get it done. And I was one of the people who voted them nervous because this ain't the first time. The Spurs ended the streak earlier after the All-Star break. The Kings have never won 5 straight. I don't remember the last time the Kings have won 5 straight games, rather the streak of 5 consecutive victories. I think the Kings haven't done or achieved since, 06, I believe, if not longer. Maybe, that's incorrect. But either way, it's just something that's not prevalent here. And San Antonio is just leaps and bounds a different organization than us. And, this was a win that they had to have, and we need
And they came in losing 5 in a row, though.
I know, but I'm saying exactly what I'm saying is they seen, okay, we're not going to lose to Sacramento. We're not going to lose to Sacramento. We don't lose to Sacramento. Not in a game like this, not in a game that we have to have. Because if we win, we know we're boxing them out for any hope. But if they win, they're within a game and a half, and we have 5 left. Nah, we got to handle business. And I don't know why De'Aaron Fox is not playing, and I don't want to make any assumptions, but I think there's a virus that's definitely prevalent. Maybe that's a stretch. I don't know. I don't understand why people think the virus is not real, but I understand why people don't get the vaccine. But everyone has their own right to do what they like. But again, now it's affecting us in more ways than one, because I don't care what nobody says. If all players are vaccinated, I feel like a lot of the protocols would be wiped, not of the overall regulations, but players wouldn't have to go through that because they'd have the vaccine. Damian Lee might be the caveat, the exception, but 6,000 people have got the virus after the vaccine. There's been 80 million people vaccinated. So I'll take them statistics.
Yeah.
But I digress. Again, even in the fourth quarter, why are they not hack a Pirtle? I don't understand why they don't do that. DeRozan.
Well, every time they do that, it seems like every single guy that they foul all season long, they lose, and these guys typically hit shots. So to me, that's stupid.
Last time Pirtle got, hacked by us, he went 2 straight air balls, if you remember last time they played each other.
Yeah, but they lost by 20 in San Antonio.
No, I know, but I'm saying Pirtle still missed 2 free throws like air balls.
So you rather go that strategy than actually want to play defense? Look, they got stops down the stretch.
DeRozan and Murray and Walker were going nuts in the fourth, and Gay as well.
But they were making some tough shots, though.
I know, so I'm going to put the ball in Pirtle's hands at the line. Because Pirtle's he's I think bottom 5 free throw shooter in the league, if not bottom 2, 3.
Yeah, but then that just stops the momentum on both sides. I don't care what anybody says, man. If you're a hooper, you would know this. And I'm not talking to you, but just in general, when any coach wants to do these type of strategies, it kills momentum on both sides. And that's why I've been against it all season long, and it hasn't worked all season long. Every time they try and do that, it doesn't work. So I was okay with the Kings playing straight up, and we saw a bunch of prayers answered. Buddy answered one prayer down the stretch. That's okay. But the Spurs, Lonnie Walker, who I love, by the way, super high on him coming out the draft, was in my top 10 on my big board. Had a couple injuries early on, but he's finally starting to settle down. The injuries are beginning to be a little bit of the past, and he's just playing this game. Look, man, Lonnie Walker to me was so. I compared him a lot to Donovan Mitchell coming out because of that supreme athleticism, his ability to just get to the rack, beautiful shooting stroke. A lot of it is injuries. To me, it truly comes down to I think he has a very bright future if he can stay healthy. Now, it's a big if, but he was making a lot of tough shots. The mid-range king was making a lot of tough shots. DeMar DeRozan's a stud. He just finds ways to get buckets, to get foul calls when a lot of times look, man, it comes down to big names, right? DeMar's going to get his calls. There's nobody on the Kings that will put that type of pressure except for De'Aaron Fox and maybe Harrison Barnes. We just didn't see that today, man, and it's disappointing. Your
Um,
starters, go ahead, go ahead.
just want to be known more than prevalent is that Luke Walton, I just don't see how he gets past the season. And they said 11.5 million they owe him over the next two because 11.5 million rather for the remaining 2 years. Can't have a provisional stretch salary figure to where the cap hit of 11.5 can't exceed the 2 years to where the contract that is written is no which way or another expendable to push the money out longer than the 2 years. So they can't get out of the contract in the 2 years. So there's a big notion that is put because of what Vlade did with the contract he wrote for Luke that there's nothing that can be done financially to get them out of that over the 2 years. So they're going to have to eat and bite that bullet and eat the money. And they don't want to eat that money. And that's what I've been hearing from Intel in that building. But again, that building is very unstable with the reports. But I mean, come on, man. Like, this was the way to save the season. And I didn't think they were going to do it, but this is the game as Luke Walton has put out there his defensive oriented scheme. Like, the Spurs had lost 5 straight games and lost by 40 on Thursday. Like, it's just very not misleading, but it's just, I mean, the fans out there, you guys have this feeling of just miscomfort and just a lack of having a true lens of a true vision, but more importantly, just the lack of direction because you just don't know which way they're going to play every night, And
Yeah,
that's what makes it most frustrating for me because you thought tonight they're going to come out and play defensively outstanding. And I just had the feeling like, nah, they're going to let down. But they do
yeah.
this consistently, though. And it's with Luke, though, and it's not all his fault. It's very, very troubling and more than disappointing. And I know I'm just beating a dead horse, but we know we had this victory in the bag when we came back on that 12-0 run, and we just let it slip away. But this happened time in and time out, over and over and over again.
So you mentioned De'Aaron Fox not playing, and I know our zone productions is asking why didn't Fox play. So there was a little bit of mixed reports going on. James Ham breaking the news initially, saying that his sources were saying that he was cleared. And then Luke kind of saying he was cleared, but he's not really cleared because it's not basketball related. He said so when Marvin Bagley came back from an injury, he said, "Oh, he needs to go through certain workouts," and it seemed like it was all basketball related. He needs to get back in shape, blah blah blah. This was nothing like that. So as we were both talking off the live, and we said, "Well, you're kind of assuming that he has COVID and he didn't get vaccinated," but then I'm kind of assuming like, well, if he has the virus, why on earth would you allow him to go on the floor, be around his teammates, right? Isn't that a little bit suspect in its own? And if he got cleared, why wouldn't you let him play? So you allow this man to be around his teammates, but not allow him to play. Something is definitely off. Luke said that he couldn't give out all the details, This is so Kings because all year long, if it's a missed uh, injury evaluation email PR stunt, or if it's a virus and protocol type stuff, we have to get, or as fans, as media, we need more transparency from the NBA, from the Sacramento Kings, and I feel like something was kept from us, and not allowing De'Aaron Fox to play the actual game today was a huge disadvantage to the Sacramento Kings. He should have played the game tonight. They would have needed him down the stretch, as they did the first time that they beat the Spurs, and then on the back-to-back they lost, right? But that's my take on it. I got vaccinated today. I got the Johnson & Johnson. I felt like the Hulk smashed my arm. I was like, and I asked my wife, who was next to me, I was like, did it hurt? Like, is your arm feeling numb? She goes, not really. It was just a small poke. So I asked a girl who was, watching me. And you have to stay there for like 15 minutes. And I said, am I exaggerating, or is your arm supposed to hurt? She goes, yeah, because the Johnson & Johnson's only it's only one shot. So there's a lot of force to the shot. And I was like, damn. And obviously I haven't felt much symptoms, but to your point, what I'm trying to say is, if that's the case, like if the NBA isn't forcing or regulating every single player to get vaccinated for whatever reason, if it's religious beliefs, if it's just skepticism in general, then I don't know what to say in that regard. But I don't think it's that. You may think it's that, but just the idea of allowing him on the floor but not allowing him to play, I think that's super counterintuitive, and just there's something off there that I don't think anybody was asking, right?
I just feel like there's a lot of miscommunication going on between the NBA Player Association and the NBA front offices in regards to like correct procedural steps being taken. But again, like regardless of that, like even without De'Aaron, which obviously our superstar in the making in Sacramento,
He was averaging 28 points post All-Star break,
25 for the year.
but
Like
28 post All-Star break.
yes, but I'm saying he's averaged 25 for the season, which is a great step in the direction of where we want him to be at as the leader of this franchise. But let's hear it all, and I'm willing to take it. Marvin Bagley just disappointed. 14 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 19 minutes. Like, he puts up 15 points, the Kings win. Like, he puts 11 more points, they win by 3. Or they win by 2, rather.
So
115, 113, but he doesn't do anything. And,
So we get this comment from Benji. He says, "Never on the live when Bagley hoops, bro. You always on the live when he's playing bad." And then earlier he said, "Nah, Leo, get off the live." And to your point, just logically speaking, and I'm not trying to be a smartass, right? If he plays good almost every single night and he's consistent, wouldn't you see me more talk about him? It's not that I'm picking and choosing when to come on, but isn't that kind of funny how it has worked out, where when I do come on because I can come on, not because I can't come on, he has a bad game. That doesn't make any sense. That's more on the player not having consistently good games, right?
you just have got the luck of the draw, more or less, to be consistently off the shelf when he plays well. But it's okay. And
So
I'm not giving up on
has
Bagley.
he played well 5 games in a row?
No.
Okay, that's it. Like that's what
No,
that's what I was trying to prove, though.
Yeah.
So
and
if
it's
he has 5
convenient-
straight games, I'm not missing 5 straight lives. So that's
Yeah.
not on me.
It's convenient to say that he didn't play well tonight because it's obvious in his score sheet and in the box score, because he didn't put up any number significant, and he didn't even get a lot of minutes because he couldn't find a way to stay on the floor with his consistent play in the paint. The interior, it wasn't productive at all on the interior defensively, and definitely couldn't shoot from the perimeter consistently all night because they put him in limited minutes. But it's just sad because we put him on that we don't want to trade him, and then the night we need him, he's lays an egg. And it's frustrating because he's young, but it's like, man, like, we didn't need you to put 30. We just needed you to put 15.
Yep.
Like, put 15 on the board, put those points in the paint, and we win by 2. And it's like, bruh, you are our starting power forward, and I mean, Metu came back. Metu didn't do a lot either, but he only had 12 minutes. I mean, he had 8 minutes, 7 minutes less rather than Bagley. Bagley only had 2 more points, and they had, he had 1 more rebound, 1 more assist. Oh,
He had a
Kyle
massive
Guy.
dunk though.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So look at. So
frustrating, man.
in regard to Marvin Bagley, a good friend of the show, Tyson Warren, on Instagram is texting me now. He's saying that he said, "Did you watch how Keldon Johnson just bullied Marvin Bagley multiple times?" And I said, "Yeah, Keldon's really good." And he said, "Dude was out there backing him down with ease. He's soft as charming. Please mention on your post game tonight that he put the ball down low and got stripped. I counted 4 times after he got an offensive rebound or in the paint." That's nothing new. That's one of the biggest pet peeves I have against most big men, most young big men in general, but specifically it's Marvin Bagley. Why do I say that? I say that because every time he comes back from an injury, I have this false hope in my heart, in my soul that he watched enough film to understand that doing that power dribble or just keeping the ball down when you're 6'11" is the worst thing any big man can do. You have to learn from the greats like Pau Gasol, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. You never saw those dudes put the ball and give a guard or a small forward or a power forward any chances to strip them. They always kept it high up here, which is what good big men do. I don't want to hear any excuses. Well, this is Marvin Bagley's first year really in the league because he hasn't played games. No, you should have learned that 25 games into your first NBA season. That's what good players do. He continues to just jump stop, sidestep, put the ball down. It doesn't work. It gives guards, it gives wings an opportunity, a window to strip you. It's happened all 3 of his years. This needs to stop. I am certain 1,000% that the coaches are talking to him about it, but he's just not listening. There's something wrong with bad habits that he just hasn't been able to break. That's an awful habit to have, by the way, especially for a big man. He cannot continue to do that, man. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, and there is no excuses for it. I don't want to hear it. There isn't, bro.
I mean, you're right. I just, oh man, I'm hurting, man, because I wanted this win tonight, and I knew it wasn't gonna happen. But I feel like, man, they're just, they had that feel when they were up 12, or excuse me, they had that 12-0 run. They cut it to 1, I believe. I think it was 100-99, and then I was like, okay, they're right here. They're like, this is the pinnacle. Buddy's gonna catch transition 3 and put it at 102, 100, and Pop's gonna be, stressed. He's gonna be stressed because he's like, okay, they're coming. But they couldn't get that stop. They couldn't get the timely stop, and it's frustrating because you look at the totality of the loss, and you just know that this was the breaker. This is the one that broke the camel's back. And I mean, it's not technically over, but
El Jefe says the Spurs can lose
over.
4 to 5 games. They have a tough schedule ahead of them. And the Kings have the Thunder twice. But then people want to talk about that last game, and I'm like, man, the Jazz could very well be playing for the #1 seed on the last game of the year. And if that's the case, they smacking the Kings. I don't care what anybody says. You better hope that the Jazz clinch before that and then rest their players. But yes, the Spurs do have a very tough schedule. And there is maybe like a 1% chance that the Kings could get that 10 spot. They should have won this game. Honestly, if they win this game with De'Aaron Fox coming back for the last
They're
5
making the
games,
playoffs. They're making the play-in at
I think
least.
they're making the play-in. I think they're
But
making the
now, like,
play-in.
I don't care if they beat Oklahoma City twice and they split with Memphis. They're still at what? They'll be at 32 and 39. It's not
What if they
enough.
win 4 in a row?
No.
No, it's over.
Because think about it. They win the next 5. They're at 34 and 38. Right now, the Spurs are 32 and 34. The Spurs are not going 1 and 4 down the stretch because they had the tiebreaker over the Kings. The only way they could have really realistically done it, they could have went beat them, won 2 against Oklahoma City and got to 32 and 37,
I
and
get
then
it, bro. I
split
get
against
it.
Memphis, and then it's 30, and then they're 34 and 38, or 34 and 38, and then it's like, okay, they're at the same amount of wins that the Spurs are at, but they had the tiebreaker. So the Utah game, yeah, but then the Spurs still have to win the last game of the year. And the Spurs have a really tough matchup in their final contest. Their last game of the year is against, let me see real quick. So I know they have against the Suns. So it's like, okay, we're good. But now they play the Blazers, the Bucks, the Spurs, at the Nets, Knicks, Suns. I still think they could lose all those games. 3, 4, 5,
Facts.
2. If they lose all the games, though, they'll be at 40 losses. Okay. Still, we'd have to. It's just, yeah, okay, maybe I'm speaking it into like a sense of there's still a chance, like a Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber, where they're like,
Sure,
okay,
sure.
the Kings win 4 in a row. They're at 33 and 38. The Spurs have to lose the next 5 games.
It's tough.
And then
It's
they're like,
tough.
okay, they're at a game up. But it's just so
Yeah.
much. The Kings shouldn't put themselves in a situation. But we've been
Facts.
doing this since game 1. I mean, they started out. Think about this. The Kings started out 3-1. Since that, they went 26 and 37. Like, that tells you everything. They went 11 under since they went 3-1 to start the year.
No, I know.
Like, if Luke Walton is the problem, then the roster's a problem. And if you want to get rid of somebody on the roster, tell me who you need to get rid of. And for what? That's going to make us better. And don't say we're going to trade players for picks and tank for the pick. Okay, well, we don't think like that. We're not going to think like that. We don't think like that ever. Not at all. Everyone here does not think we should tank. We're not cut like that. I'm not cut like that. Leo's not cut like that. And I know you might feel like that, and I respect that. But
Yeah. Quick.
McNair would have made it blatantly clear at the deadline to trade Barnes, Buddy, and Bagley and Holmes, but he didn't. So they're in the business of trying to acquire talent. And if you don't think the talent is the issue, then what's the issue? And it's the head coach. Whether that's something that he's going to feel or not, it's just the salary cap implications. Is he willing to bite that bullet? Is Vivek really to eat that?
So, quick question to everybody on the stream. I feel like I'm hearing myself, my voice like an echo. I don't know if that's because of Javi not having headphones or not, but let us know because we have to fix this issue ASAP, or maybe it's more of a Skype thing. But let us know in the comments below if I'm just hearing shit or not. But I do hear myself like twice, so let us know. And I do want to address one of Bobby Hill's comments in the section. He says that if you're gonna talk about Bagley this much and not bring any positives for his last game, seems unfair. Okay,
I did bring those up though.
Javi, no, I know, and I was about to say that. Like, Javi brought all those things up, and maybe he's just specifically talking to me about it. Let's break things down. Marvin Bagley, since his return, has showed the ability to be a very good scorer. I've always said that about him. Javi has always said that about him. It's not a matter of him not being able to score the ball. It's a matter of him putting it together and consistently doing it. There's no secret that he can score 30 and then score 4 points the next night. This has happened his entire career, bro. So let's not act like this is a surprise. Yes, I'm giving him credit when he has good games. Yes, he had a great game last game, and they won the game. Unfortunately, Greg Popovich, really good coaches, not shitty teams, but really good coaches know how to game plan against guys who are very one-dimensional. Marvin Bagley has not improved the fundamentals of his game. He came back from his injury very enthusiastic. He came back from his injury with the oomph, with more athleticism. Yes. He came back more aggressive. Those are intangibles that could lead to positive results. But none of those things scream, I improved my fundamentals. He still can't go right, for the record. He still can't play defense. So it's not like I'm not being fair, bro. Like, I'm being very fair. I'm being very objective. I give him credit for scoring a lot of points on multiple occasions. He has scored many points on multiple occasions. But with that said, on multiple occasions, he has had on a second consecutive game a bad game. So one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. And it's not like it's a It's a so-so game, like Javi said. All we needed was 15 points. It's a terrible game. So he goes from here to then here. That's not a good thing. If you want him to be a starter, you see how I changed that on you real fast? If you want him to be your starter, okay, there needs to be a middle ground. If you want him to be a bench scorer, which is what I see Terrence Davis, Metu, Bagley, that's what they do. That's what role players off the bench who have the ability to get you buckets, that's what they do. You cannot expect them to be something that they are not. They are who they are, bro. That's who they are. They'll get you buckets on one night and then just disappear the next. We've seen it from Terrence Davis himself all season long since he was a Raptor and a King. It's not a secret, man. People have to stop predicating somebody's successes off of a good game, off of 2 or 3, 4 good games. You got to do it for a game, at least 20 plus games, bro. Consistently. That's what defines a really good player in this league. I don't see Bagley being more, as of right now, more than a very explosive bench scorer. Until you guys come to an acceptance of that, you will continue to see games like this. And then you'll continue to say, well, Leo, you're hating. I'm not hating, bro. I wish him the best. I actually like him. But we have to get over the fact that he should have never been the number 2 pick. This is all based off of perception. He has one good game, and then you connect that he was chosen number 2. This must mean he's trying to break through. No, it doesn't. The fact that he didn't play in the 4 tells you a lot. It tells you that Luke Walton doesn't trust him to make the right plays. He's a defensive liability. And in this game, where they scored 113, they needed stops. They prefer to have Mo Harkless out there. That's just the truth. You're not going to have him over over Rashawn Holmes, right? So who do you put him over in that situation? You can't put him over Buddy Hield. He was having a solid game. So, again, man, I'm as fair as anyone can be. I'm giving him credit for being a really good scorer, still very one-dimensional. As soon as he figures out going right and becoming at least average at that, he will become even a better scorer, okay? Until that happens, the really good coaches will understand how to game plan against somebody like that. And they will say, hey, man, he loves to take a power dribble and bring the ball down. Make sure you strip him. That's it.
Man, sorry, my energy's just.
Tell me I'm wrong, though, Javi, about that. Tell me I'm wrong about my assessment. I'm not wrong about it, bro. I understand people love Bagley. Like, I get it. And they want the best value in return if that's the direction that the Kings choose. Or they want to see him thrive. I want to see him thrive. I want him to be a superstar. Like, I hope he lives up to that number 2 pick. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to come to acceptance that some things won't happen. And sometimes you have to accept that every player has a limitation, and he has many. He's not going to be a superstar in this league. Just get over it already, man.
I just wish that fans would understand that we all here at the platform want the best for Marvin, but it's like, man, this is what second overall picks got to do when De'Aaron is out, when they feel the void in the scoring. Obviously, I mean, not everybody. I mean, Rashawn had an okay game. Harkless played okay, but you see in the box score, I mean, Buddy had 17. They're clutch 17, but again, that's just not what they need from their number 1 scorer. So as a second overall pick, somebody as a starter, you got to fill that spot. I mean, Terrence Davis led the Kings in scoring. He played 33 minutes and 24 points. He's not even, their starting shooting guard. And granted, he's very liable and capable of doing that, but you look at it, Holmes had 15, Harkless had 12, Darrell Wright had 17. It's just DeLon Wright, my bad. Darrell is his brother, but DeLon Wright, the starting point guard that's playing for De'Aaron. We just needed more, man, and my energy might be off. I'm just, I don't have any expectations. It's just sad. It's a sad situation because you wanted to see Sacramento get in, and it's, I feel like it's more and more leaning towards us getting ready for October and November. So.
It sounds like you're ready to get that 49er season ready.
Well, my man Jim Harbaugh said, who's got it better than us?
Uh-oh.
Nobody!
So look, man. Benji says he's young, bro. He has to learn. You can't determine his ceiling. Only he can. He just got resentment because of Luca. That's not true at all, bro. It's not true at all. If he ever does become something, say, let's put Julius Randle as the example that everybody wants to
We're
use,
happy.
right?
We're happy.
It's not going to happen on the second team. It's going to happen on the third team. Typically, bigs take a long time, and I'm not determining his ceiling, bro. Like I'm not. I'm telling you what he's gonna be for this team. Like Kings fans, the Kings organization, they've given everything to him. Like literally, they've given him everything to succeed. They've given him the ball. They've cleared things out. He has had enough time to fail. He's failed a lot. He's had enough time to turn the ball over and make mistakes. He's had plenty of those things. Now, if you want him to continue to make those mistakes and hurt his mindset and just get buckets, just to patent his stats, that's on you, brother. But Luke Walton, the team, like his teammates, they're trying to win games. And Luke is trying to put the best guys out there to give him that chance to win games. Right now, Marvin isn't that guy. That is the true reason why he hasn't played in the fourth quarters. Now, the different argument is why are they trying to win games? That's completely different, bro. But as of right now, that is why he wasn't playing in the fourth. And that is why he wasn't playing earlier in the season in the fourth. There is no secret to this, bro. They're two different conversations. Why are they trying to win? That's a whole separate bugaboo that we don't want to unravel right now. So it's not that I'm hating. It's not that I have resentment against him. Like I'm past that, bro. Y'all used to see a Luca face here in my background. I threw that shit away because I got over the fact that he is a Dallas Maverick, that he will retire a Dallas Maverick barring some insane injury. That's
I
what?
I didn't get over it.
Yeah, I'm over it. Like I threw my Luca face away, like I did. I threw that shit away because I have to come to an acceptance that De'Aaron Fox is the face of this organization, and Tyrese is going to be a beautiful Robin for a lot of years to come, and that is what it is, bro. And Marvin Bagley could be a nice trade asset if some GM. All it takes is one, as Javi and I have said for a long time, to give us a late first round pick. If that's the case, then you have to move on, man. It is what it is, bro. I'm not resentment towards Marvin. I want him to succeed. I'm telling you what he can and what he can't do. My brother cannot go right. He continues to bring the ball. It's not that hard to guard him. Like he was getting backed down by Keldon Johnson, bro. This guy is a wing. Let's not stop making excuses for this man. Stop it. I will not accept this nonsense, bro. I'm not going to. I'm sorry. And he's not more athletic than Metu. And we saw it again tonight. What Metu has done from an athletic ability perspective, this dude is a freak. But nobody wants to say it because he's a journeyman. And that's just the cold, hard truth. They don't see it like that. But if Metu drops 30, I guarantee you there will not be any hype the following game. Like the hype that Bagley had going into this game. Oh, he's going to drop 30 again. Or if he scores 30 the next game, oh my God, I can't wait to Bagley. What's Bagley going to do? If Metu drops 30, nobody will talk about him the following game. Nobody will have any expectations because that's just how perception is, bro. Perception works that way. Sorry. It's the truth, bro. I'm here to keep it 100 with you guys. Like, that's just the truth.
It's just a sad situation overall, man. What are the comments reading at this current time? Anybody want to call in? Anybody say anything in the comments worth noting? Anybody want to call into the show?
Eagle Nation's law firm says, I'm going to say one thing that will fix and turn around this franchise. Etor Messina. I've loved Messina for a long time. I wanted him to be the coach a few years ago when they hired Dave Yeager. That was my number one option. It didn't happen. I think Coach Messina was waiting for the Lakers job to open up. I don't think he got a fair shot at that job when it did open up, I believe. And he's just been on that. I think he's still on that. Is he not? Or did he go overseas, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know if I'm top of my head. I don't know if he went back to overseas to coach. He probably did. But, I love Messina, man. I would personally love to see that. But That's a very random but good comment. So shout out to him. Bobby Hill says yes to say that he won't improve is wrong. When did I say he's not going to improve though? Like, Javi, did I say that? Or are these people having selective hearing of what I'm saying? He's gonna, and if he improves, he's not going to be here though. It's
It's
going to
just
be
a
on the
matter of
second or third team, bro.
fans don't want to hear that because they
Of
don't want
course
to hear
not, because
it.
it don't fit their narrative. I'm giving them props. Yes, he's talented. So is Metsu, though. So is a lot of young players. Young players are talented. Welcome to the NBA, brothers. That's what the NBA is, a bunch of talented young individuals, man.
He's just not the most athletic player in his team anymore, and it's prevalent. But it's not okay to say that he's somebody we should give up on, but it is okay to say that he needs to put in more time. And that's just a fact.
Well,
And
give up because he's had 3 years, in my opinion.
no,
Again,
he needs to
that's
put more time in himself to make himself a better player and develop himself into a better player. Is
sure,
what I'm saying.
sure, absolutely.
But it's just like, again, we didn't need him to put 35 on the board tonight. We put him, had him put 15, and we put ourselves in a situation to win the game by
15
2.
and 8 rebounds, 15 and 7
And we're good.
rebounds.
And we're good.
Yeah.
And we're solid. But like
Benji
De'Aaron
says,
would have dropped 25 to 30 tonight and had 10 rebounds or 6 rebounds and 10 assists, and we would have won by 10. I think if De'Aaron would have played.
well, this is like, I don't know what you mean, Benji. He says, bro, y'all too political. Picks are just a number, bro. It doesn't matter at all. It does matter. Apparently, it matters because, as I've said, y'all wouldn't be excited if Metu had 30 points. The following game, nobody would be saying, oh my God, he has so much. Like, there was so much of a buildup today. And don't say I'm lying. Javi, was there not a huge buildup today for Bagley? Like,
He had 23, or excuse me, he had 31 2 days ago.
exactly. But if Metu has
Like,
his
36 minutes?
But if
And
Metu has
12 boards?
31 points, there won't be that buildup because, again, guys like Metu, guys like Rashawn Holmes, if you guys want to admit this or not, there's a ceiling to journeymen. There's a ceiling to guys who weren't high draft picks because that's what perception does, bro. That's just what it is, man. And everybody knows it. Whether or not you want to admit it, that's on you, bro. Whether or not you want to admit it, that's on you. Someone says, our zone says, Bagley ain't becoming Randall. Randall's so much stronger mentally. Randall is a freak. Like, his body was always NBA ready. He was just injured, and he had some bad luck there. And then, like, defensively, from what I recall from the Lakers days, he wasn't that, like, he was nowhere near as bad as Bagley, though. Like, Bagley is really bad. And I know I saw some stats about him holding ex players to a less percentage defensively, and I'm like, bro, look, man, there are statistics, literally, there are stats where if you don't ever watch an NBA game, Dwayne Dedman's the best example. If you just use stats and never watch film on a guy, you can make somebody look actually decent and good without watching a game.
That's not good.
Exactly. So,
yes.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That I saw some stats roaming around on the internet today saying, "Oh, Bagley's doing a much better job defensively," and typically old Leo would have responded and then started a war. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let the game happen today and just see what happens. I hope he proves and he validates these stats, but that didn't happen today.
I was hoping that he would just give me 15. Nah, I wanted 18 and 10, I'm not gonna lie. But
true, me
that's
too.
Greedy. But if he had even 10 and 10, I'm like, all right. But 4 and 2 and 1 assist in 19 minutes. It's just like, that's unacceptable, man. By any standard that's set, and it paid dividends for the worst today. And you can see, obviously, I'm not trying to harp and beat on a dead horse. My energy's off because I see this as a perfect ticket to get into the tournament, and I've seen this as the perfect opportunity for the Kings to do what the Kings do, and that's let down all of us. And it's okay because I've seen it, but I just didn't want it to happen. I didn't have this show be something that came to fruition because I texted you in the show during the game before the show. I texted you in our chat. I said, dude, they're not winning this.
Yeah, you did.
I said they're not gonna get it done because they're gonna find a way to mess it up, like they do when they need to have like a fifth game, one consecutively, or beat the team that's in front of them in the standings, and they let down. they let up and lost by 9. But it's okay because, hey, Halliburton's 21 and De'Aaron's 23, and I don't know, man.
Lamar said, "Would you pay Holmes $15 million to keep him, or are you letting him walk?" Go ahead, Javi. Are you paying him $15 million?
Yeah, of course. I mean, who's your backup plan? You want Damian Jones as your starting center? Who's the one who said that? I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Who's the one who said it? Nelson, you said? What was his name?
Lamar Drip.
Lamar Drip. So who would you want instead to play center?
Bobby Hess says, "It's your opinion, but you can be wrong." Muhammad Javier says, "Yeah, facts. So what makes all of them is better than Bagley? What always they always want to learn." Yeah. So what he's trying to say is that any young player can have upside and potential. It's a matter of, as you said, Javi, whether or not they want to put the work in, right? Like it truly comes down to like right now they're all at the NBA level. They all have the best training staffs in the world, the best trainers, the best facilities. Now it's not about making it, man. And I keep telling people it's not about making it to the league. It's about sustaining and sustaining yourself at a high level. Everybody's at ground zero right now. So can you supersede all these dudes, all these guys coming after your jobs? There are some young guns coming into the league next offseason, and it's a repetitive cycle every year. What can you do to keep your game sharp?
Yes. How can you improve?
Right.
You can't be stagnant where you were at Duke. It's
Yeah.
just, and that's where we're at right now.
How
He's
much
improved.
has he improved from Duke, though, honestly, bro? Like, how much has his skill set improved?
I can't put a number on it, but it's just it has to be more. Period. Point blank. It has to be more. It has to be more.
Period.
And I think it's more defensively than anything. Anything I think that confidence would build for him on the offensive side of the floor, especially on that side of the court. But again, Sacramento's a place that people say your career goes to peril when you come here. So we have to show and set an example of it, not outside of De'Aaron. And I hope Bagley's another,
crazy, bro.
typical example of that.
This is crazy. Benji says, "I repeat, Metu will never drop more than 22 points in a game." It's crazy to me that he says that because he's such a Bagley fanatic, and that's fine. But to say that Metu will never score 22 in a game is just ridiculous. I mean, he had 14 points like in 10 minutes.
He had 17 points, I think a week ago.
So, like, if you give him 25 minutes, 25
Let him
to
play-
30 minutes, like he's
30
scoring
minutes.
that.
Let him play 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then we'll see.
It's nothing against Bagley if he does that. It's not going to harm Bagley. Like, not going to harm his value. That's a good thing for the Kings if Metu scores over the 22. Like, I don't see I don't want him. Well, not I don't want to, but to say he'll never score 22 points. Well, that's not good for the Kings in any way. It's where another, like, for him not to ever do that, that would be really bad for what we have. Like, I'm not saying he's consistently going to score 22 points, but we need to have a bench scorer who's getting consistent minutes that can drop 20. And if he can't, then we're not having an effective power forward stretch center that can be a combo power forward center for our backup position, either spots.
Right.
We're not in a good position overall anyway.
Right.
Why would you say that right now? But
another great point from our zone production says if Holmes was a top pick, he'd have the green light for a jumper and would be so much more developed. So what he's saying is, and he's validating what I said earlier, that Marvin Bagley has had every chance to succeed and to fail. The Kings have allowed him to just have any turnover that he wants, clear out the entire floor, go 1-on-1, which I hate when they do that. Get his Zebo on, and for the most part, he's failed miserably at that. Why? Because he's not strong enough.
Yeah.
Period. He's just not, man.
His upper body strength, his body composition is not built to where it should be for a power forward.
Like he's getting backed down by Kendall Johnson, who was a small forward in this league, who was a stretch four in the new NBA, but still, like, come on, man.
Bagley's 6'11", 235. He's probably about 220, but they gave him 235.
Facts.
But
Facts.
Again, he should be 250, 260 by the time he's 25. I don't know if he'll get there. I hope he is, but you look at Rashawn, he's 265. Rashawn's 5 years older than him, but again, Rashawn was not I don't think he was 235 at 22. I think Rashawn was about probably 240, 245. And he's, I think, an inch shorter than Marvin. But again, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I just want to see more but maybe we just came to the point where it's too late for the season. So we'll see
Lamar
where that.
Lamar says Bags is nice at the 5, even though he has a defensive liability. Devin says Bagley listens to his dad more than the coaching staff. Kai Jones in the draft could also possibly fill the 5. He got to re-sign Harkless too. You know, I think Kings fans have this recency bias where if a player has a good, good little stretch, they want to go all in on them. Sometimes you want to evaluate. Like somebody asked me, well, who's your realistic option for a head coaching job? And it's like, well, a realistic option on May 6th, which was yesterday, I don't have one because you don't know who will become available for all the current coaches, and then you don't know who's coming out of college. So it's hard to say when you say realistic, right? I'm going to wait and see who becomes available and who is available. If it's who is your unrealistic hope, then I'd be like, oh, easily, Juwan Howard. I think he'd be the perfect fit for this team, but I don't think he's going to leave Michigan. I don't see it, especially
Not
with
for this.
with the best class, well, just his best recruiting class coming in. Like he got a bunch of studs coming in, so
Not for the show in Sacramento. No.
Javi's like, nah, not for this.
Not for this.
Oh man.
I don't see it.
But yeah, man, that's essentially it, man. Are we getting a cap expert soon on the show? Hopefully. But what I also didn't like about the extensions of Metu and Jones was the fact that they said multi-year deals, but we don't know what the numbers look like, and they didn't disclose those numbers. Again, being transparent. Who cares? Whatever number that is, like, just put it out there. Like, it doesn't matter. They already signed the damn contract, right? And they're gonna have to disclose it very soon when the new cap comes out and you're looking at your sheet. So why wouldn't you come out and say, well, it's this much money for this much? Like multi-year can be 2 years. It can be 3 years, right? So again, lack of transparency, from my perspective, is not a good thing.
It's a shame because we don't even know the figures of any of those contracts with extensions. Like, I don't understand why that's a secret. Like, why they
Yeah.
left the whole, we're going to have Halliburton's injury in the dark so no one has any clear information what it is. And he had some mass report from the national reporter, but nobody from the Kings, like, Ham or whoever. That's very troubling. But, hey, that's the Kings being the Kings. And Sacramento, expect the unexpected. And most importantly, just don't have expectations.
Pablo Poor Boy Sin says, "Go get D'Antoni." Would you like Mike D'Antoni?
No.
Would Mike D'Antoni make De'Aaron Fox an MVP?
They still would make the playoffs. Can't play defense. Can't play defense.
You don't think he'd be the next James Harden from a statistical perspective?
I mean, if he can learn how to shoot more consistently from the perimeter, but again, that's a big if.
I think Mike would be a great coach, to be honest with you.
I mean, where's he ever won though? He's never won anything.
He's always won.
No, I'm saying, what has he ever won? Yeah, he's won games. What has he ever won though?
Well, fuck, bro. Like everybody can't win championships though. He was on the verge of winning the championship with one of the best teams to ever live.
But what I'm saying is, if you pay.
Okay, so like you said,
come on, though, you got to pay him big money. You want to pay him big money?
Yes.
$10 million a year?
Because the Kings are going to make the playoffs.
You want to pay him $10 million a year?
I'll pay him 20.
Okay, respect.
He's that good of a coach. Like, people act like, oh, championships define you as a coach, as a player. That's not true, bro. How many great players in our history have not won championships? Charles Barkley maybe he's the most polarizing one that's never won anything. Don't tell me Charles Barkley is not a top 25 player in NBA history, because you'd be lying to yourself. Like, that dude was a monster. George Karl, one of the greatest coaches ever, never won a championship. Sometimes it happens like that, bro. Like the Houston Rockets had one of the best teams to never win the championship, one of the most historical teams to never win a championship with that Chris Paul and James Harden team. That was Mike D'Antoni's specialty of making their offense insanely good. And I feel like he could elevate De'Aaron Fox's game to the next level. Whatever level that is, he can do it. I know he has the ability to do it because he's done it before. He's had MVPs. That's why I asked that. He's coached Harden. He's coached Steve Nash. MVPs in his league.
Yes.
He's made them into MVPs. They weren't MVPs before that. So I felt like he'd give Fox a great chance, bro. And if Fox, that's what I'm saying though. So it's a two-part thing. If Fox is playing at an MVP level, which is an All NBA level, that means the Kings are pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
So
Without a shadow of a doubt, yes.
that's why I said, can he make him into an MVP? And it's fair to bring up the question. Well, can he consistently shoot that 3-point shot like James Harden? Well, he has shot the ball a lot better this year. So,
Yes.
what is Bobby? What are they saying? I love Mike for a team. He's an offensive mastermind. Would make the playoffs. Contracts are on Basketball Reference. So let us know what the numbers are because I looked not too long ago and I didn't even see what the numbers were. Ryan Big Daddy Kane says pick and roll Nash, Fox's Nash, and Bags is Stoudemire. LOL. I see what you did there. Mike's team almost took down the greatest team ever assembled in 2017, the Warriors twice. Big facts. Talk about that, Javier. How they almost took down the greatest team ever assembled.
Almost coulda, woulda, shoulda. I'm not in the business for almost coulda, woulda, shoulda. But hey, you have that in your back pocket. They almost beat them. All right. Well, I'm not in the business of almost coulda, woulda, shoulda. I ain't cut like that, man. It's either you get it done or you don't. You bought that action, you're not. I mean, that's cool. They almost did. They didn't though. Did they? No, they didn't. They didn't though. So.
Kings fan 85 says I would like Eric Musselman, Nate Oates, Rick Pitino. No thanks. No thanks, bro. Look, Eric Musselman is my guy. He coached my alma mater, University of Nevada, Reno, and he did a phenomenal job. And he left for Arkansas, and now he could leave to a bigger program. But Eric Musselman is the definition of a very good college coach. He's not an NBA coach. He will never be a good NBA coach. That's just it. Like, NBA coaches aren't, having so much fun and taking off their shirts and, that's Eric Musselman. Like, he was meant to coach college basketball, bro. He can go into some living room and say, I can get you to the NBA. I have the Musselman name. I have the experience. I coach in the NBA, but now I'm coaching here, and I will get you there. So, solid recruiter, good coach at the collegiate level. He's not an NBA coach.
No.
Mike would make Hallie be the MVP, not Fox. Wow. Hot take. What are your thoughts on that? Because Javi's out here falling asleep.
No, I'm not. I'm just listening to this commentary of Halliburton to be the MVP, not Fox. Okay. Halliburton needs to stay healthy, all right? Let's worry about him being healthy for we're about MVP conversation. He got hurt 3 times in his rookie year.
Yeah. Give Luke another shot to coach next year. He'll prove the doubters wrong. LOL.
Oh, here we go. This must be Bill.
That was sarcastic. Nah, that was supposed to be sarcastic from Chum.
This must be Bill talking.
Go get Rick Adelman.
That's right. I'll take him.
It says Metu is 21, 22, 1.7 million, 22, 23, 1.9, both not guaranteed. Okay, so the numbers are up. Good. Hey, that's a hell of a contract.
That's a steal. Those are steals. Not guaranteed. What about Metu's counterpart, Damian Jones, who got the multi-year contract? What is his cap figures?
So let's put that up there. So Metu at 1.7 and 1.9.
Yeah.
That's good. Good job for Monty McNair, huh?
Get that cap hit. That's nothing. That's nickels and pennies.
Our zone says, shit, I take the Rockets playoff run any day of the week for us. Facts. Who are we
Yeah, our
kidding?
team's not different too, though.
Huh?
Our team configuration of the roster that's built here is way different too. So
Yeah.
I don't just think you're going to plug and play that whole scenario. The team is way different in Houston, astronomical in every sense different than what the Kings have here in Sacramento right now with the roster configuration
All
compared to
right,
that Houston roster
so
team.
we're gonna take some calls in. So if you want to join, click the link in the bio to join the conversation. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate you guys. So if we got 11 people or 29 people watching, we should have 29 likes. So or dislikes, whatever it is. You don't agree, you don't just. Either way, it helps us out a lot. So again, you guys can click the link in the bio and join the conversation. I've been telling Javi to get his headphones. He hasn't gotten them. But so if anybody calls in, he won't be able to listen to it, unfortunately. But so our headphones, I don't know why they just hurt my ears, man. Like my ears are numb right now. Like I don't know why. And I thought it was
So how do you want
because
'em?
I had my Beats on last time, so I bought these cheaper ones that are lighter than the Beats, and they still hurt my ears. So
That's why I don't want them.
you got to, bro. You got
I
to.
sleep over time, but I hear you. We got anybody trying to call?
Let me see. Does anybody want to call? So Bobby Hill says that Jones is at 1.9 million for 21-22.
What about next year? Got a multi-year deal.
So that's what I think is a I I'm under the impression that it was for the rest of this year and just next year and not the following year. Which is why I was upset with like the whole discrepancy of saying it's a and technically it falls under a multi-year deal, right? It's like this year, this season, and next season. That's why I was upset about that.
Yeah, it was kind of misleading, but we'll see. I guess when they actually officially announce it, but that'll probably be what next season. They'll probably announce it in the latter part of the All-Star break. No, the Kings PR, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully not. I'm just playing, but
Yeah,
I just want to be able to re-sign Rashawn and not trade Marvin Bagley for you know half of what he's
right,
worth in any sense, but not obviously a role player that can help us. But I don't want to get rid of my 50 cents on the dollar.
right. Lamar's just got to wear AirPods, and I love my AirPods, brother, but I don't know. Like when we do live shows at restaurants in the near future, we can't wear AirPods to listen to each other. We have to have a separate headphones adapter where, again, something that we didn't have the first time that we did the live show. We wore for the for the second time, third, and from here on out. But I do have the adapter for headphones because sometimes when you're so far from each other in a restaurant where there's music and people, you can't hear each other. So having headphones and having the audio go through your ears is a lot better, a lot more efficient, and will keep the conversation a lot healthier from an audio perspective. So I would love to go all wireless, but that type of system, I don't know, man. It's something different.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I don't think anybody's gonna call in. Obviously, people are down today. It was a tough loss, 113 to
Man,
104.
it's a gut wrenching loss.
It is. It's a Friday afternoon, Friday night. Sorry, 10:32 p.m. right now. People are upset. People are probably taking too many shots out of anguish and frustration, man. Like it's tough. It's tough being a Kings fan. That's what both Javi and I were afraid of. Was this team giving us false hope? They did it again. They gave us a false hope. Not saying that it's mathematically over, but I feel like from a spiritual, from a from a mental aspect, it has to be over, right?
The only way is if De'Aaron plays Sunday, they win 4 straight, and then we're like, okay, well, what's up? 33 and 38, win the last game against the Jazz, and the Spurs just implode. But they got to win 4 straight against the Thunder twice, and then the Memphis Grizzlies twice, respectively. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? 3%, 2%?
It's possible for them to win four straight. I'm not even going to debate that.
But are the Spurs going to lose?
Right. That's what I don't think is
The
possible.
Pelicans. That's
Yeah.
like I said. I feel like they're going to win 31 games. That's my prediction. They'll win 31 games.
31?
They'll finish 2-4 down the stretch. They'll beat the Thunder once. They'll beat the Grizzlies once. and they'll
They'll
be
lose to the Thunder? Wow.
yeah, I think they'll lose to them once, and then they'll play well against Memphis one game, get the win, and lose the next, and then they'll be at 31 and 41, and they'll lose against the Jazz like by 3 in the last game. It'll be 31 and 41. Yeah, they'll be 31 and 40, then lose the final game by like 3 points, and be 31 and 41 for the year. That's my
So,
prediction.
so you better bet. So, Javi's saying that the Thunder will win one game. So if that's the case, you better bet the house on the Thunder on that spread because that spread is gonna be like plus 8.5, plus
I didn't
nine and
say
a
what
half.
game I was saying they're gonna lose. I'm saying they'll lose one of the two double hitters. You know, they got a double hitter against them. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So both games, I guarantee you that the Thunder will be like plus anywhere from plus 7 to plus 10.5
Yeah,
underdogs. And if that's the
yeah.
case, you you have to take that spread. Like you're right. Like the Kings are very susceptible to blowing them out one night and then keeping it super close the next night. Like that's just what they again, bro. They were up 17 to 20 points in that game, and they won like barely on a very tough shot by Dylan Wright. Like that's just what the Kings do, man.
And that's typical Sacramento. But hey, we're still Kings fans to the end, to my final days and my last breath, and that's all right because I look at it as hey, we got to continue to have hope because De'Aaron Fox still king, Halliburton's a king, Rashawn Holmes is still king for now, Barnes healed, Marvin Bagley the third.
Lamar says that the Pelicans are missing Zion and they're missing Zion, so they are out of the conversation.
Well, regardless, they still have to
Yeah,
pass him. That's
yeah.
my the premise is they still have to pass him in the standings of going from a 12 to 11, and then to worry about the Spurs who have a 3.5 game cushion on us. So they have to implode and we have to win 4 straight. So let's see if that happens. That's what it comes down to.
Well, our zone says if you lose to the Thunder, Jesus Christ, the Thunder are the worst team possibly ever. Dude, they almost lost to them though. That's the fun. Like they
They won
literally
by 4.
almost
Yeah,
lost. Yeah, they
yeah.
almost lost to them, bro.
There's a 2 point swing with like what a minute and a half to go.
Right. So it's not out of the
Out of the realm
question.
of possibilities.
Yeah, like it's not. Like it's not. But hey, it is what it is. The Kings lose a tough one tonight, 113-104. They are 29 and 38. The Spurs are now 32 and 34. They're 4 games back in the loss column. That's what I look at. I look at the wins. Has 4 games. There's 5 left. Realistically, the Kings have to win out. They have to win out to give themselves a chance to even remotely think that they have a chance. Because the Spurs, Greg Popovich, man, he gonna have that team ready to play.
Best coach of all time.
So, on behalf of the entire CK family, we thank you guys, and we don't promise you a show on Mother's Day, but if there is a show, it's gonna be super brief, super quick. Thank you guys so much. And happy Mother's Day to every single mom out there. Y'all the best, man. Real talk, man. Y'all the best. Peace.
See you guys.